Hi, my name's Amanda. I'm a coach and a channel, and welcome back to another Messages from Spirit. Every single Wednesday, I've been coming live on YouTube, channeling a message from Spirit, and then taking your questions live. So, this is an opportunity for you to join me inside of receiving something. Maybe this is something that you've been asking for, something you've been searching for, some clarity that you've been seeking from the universe, a sign of some sort. And if you're feeling drawn to this video, then maybe this is an opportunity to receive one of those things that you've been desperately asking for, but maybe feeling unable to quite figure out how to move forward with. And then if there's something on your mind today, if you're live with me here and there's something that you would like some support with, this is your opportunity to jump in the chat and ask myself and ask spirit and receive some real-time guidance on whatever it is that you're looking to get clarity around or support with. And something that I just want to bring to the forefront is that I try to make these less so a psychic reading and more so a coaching experience. It's really important for me to support you in trusting and believing in you. So rather than coming forward, asking your question and receiving information on a future potential or something really specific that's going to come about in your life, the messages that tend to come forward for you inside of these experiences tend to be in support of allowing you to see things from a fresh perspective. Because when you can observe your question or the situation that you're finding yourself in from a fresh perspective, that offers you clarity. That might not offer you certainty, but I would argue that receiving psychic information won't do that either, because what tends to happen is it's never enough. There's never enough certainty for us to feel 100% safe. And so, what we actually need rather than certainty is belief, trust, belief in ourselves, and trust in our ability to navigate our path forward. And so that's what these experiences are truly here to provide for you is a fresh perspective, a new outlook, a way of seeing things from a higher vantage point that can allow you to clarify what you really feel, what you really need, and how to access that, and ultimately feel empowered inside of doing so. So, the way this works is I close my eyes. I like to tune into spirit first to channel a message for the collective. And this is something that tends to tie into what a lot of you are really searching for at this time. If there's questions on your mind, if there's something that you've been seeking, spirit always knows what's needed. So if you're feeling drawn to this, there's a reason for that, and there's something in here for you. And then after that, I open the floor to whoever's here and whoever would like to receive support. And the way this works for me as a channel is spirit likes to paint a picture first, a picture of like a metaphor or analogy of some kind that tends to anchor in whatever it is that they're looking to bring forward today or for you to better understand today. So I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to tune in with them and I'm going to see what it is that they would like to share with us. Just give me a sec. Okay. They're showing me this really clear image of a hand tapping the water. And with every time that this like finger touches the water, there's a ripple that ripples out. And it's this ripple that, well, what do you want to say about that? Every time you tap the water, you create this disruption in the surface of the water that creates movement. And this movement creates a ripple effect. And it is like the energy that you are transferring from the movement of your finger into the surface of the water that is creating this disruption in what was previously like a smooth surface with no movement in it. And they want to highlight inside of this image and kind of bring to the forefront inside of this conversation today how there is the intention to create disruption. When you go to touch the water, you know that you are going to disrupt the surface of that environment, and that through your disruption, you're going to create a new environment or an activation of a different kind of energy of some kind. And they're saying that is what they want to really speak into today, is how we sometimes do not perceive the disruption that is required or the disruption that is needed or desired inside of what it is that we're searching for or what it is that we're asking for. Can you expand on that? They're saying every time you're asking for something, every time you're closing your eyes and you're saying, Spirit, there's something that I'm wanting. Help me. Help me find it. Help me access it. Help me create it. What you're asking for is disruption. You're asking for a way to take what it is that you're currently experiencing and change it. Make some sort of disruption to what is already. But in order to make room for that disruption, you have to be allowing for change. And yet, a lot of us do not realize that that is what we're asking for. We're asking for something that's going to be dropped into our lap and create like a whole bunch of a whole bunch of change happen. And when that happens, when we actually get the thing that we want, which is disruption, we freak the F out because we're like, oh my God, like, no, I can't handle this. I don't like this. This feels uncomfortable. And they're like, well, that's what you wanted, my dear. You wanted a way to create a different outcome. But there's something that we almost want nothing to change, but also everything to change at the same time. At the same time. And so they're like, my child, you have to pick one. Are you okay with the disruption that you're seeking? Or can we reflect back to you that there's a part of you that isn't necessarily ready for that yet, or a part of you that doesn't understand what's required in order to create the thing that you're saying that you want? Hi, Arnie. It's so nice to see you here. Always a pleasure when you pop in. If there's something on your mind today that you like support with, just share. And if you're just here for the shits and giggles and for the companionship, I love that. Just let me know, okay? Okay. And if you'd like to add to this message, you're always so contrite and so concise with your words, so feel free to share. Hi, Stacy. Hi, guys. Oh, gang's all here today. Sending you guys love through the computer. Okay, where do you want to go from here with this message? This is getting juicy. They want you to take a moment and reflect on your life and reflect on something specific that's going on in your life that you're feeling trapped by, that you're feeling like that is less than ideal, and that you would like to shift or change or disrupt in some capacity. And really call into question what it would look like if you got what you wanted, how it would change your reality, how it would change what would be required of you to show up, how you would change the way that your day is set up and managed and they're saying micromanaged. Interesting choice of words. And are you ready for that? Are you ready to call into question like the very structured way that you have set up your life and begin to rearrange your to-do list in order to make space for what's needed? Because sometimes when we call into question something new, time is needed to catch up. Like it's going to take time to figure out, okay, how do I rearrange things? How do I make this fit? How do I make it fit in a way that feels good for me? How do I adapt to the learning curve required to accomplish this or to set this in motion or to find a sense of like my bearings again? And understand that that is part of the process of manifestation. Okay. They're saying manifestation is a disruption of the previously held belief system that what you need is safety and stability. Oh my God. Can you clarify that, please? You can't just drop a bomb on me like that. You have to clarify that. They're saying that they're saying that what you're actually wanting, what you're asking for is the complete annihilation of any sense of safety and stability, because safety and stability is what you're currently working towards. But if what it is that you want looks and feels different, then what's required is some chaos. And okay. Can you I feel like something here is getting lost a little bit. Can I think I think you know what I'm referring to. No, they're holding firm. They're saying chaos is required in order to manifest something new in your life. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with the disruption of like the systems that you've put into place. And that is why so many of us struggle with the creation of something new, is because we're not willing to let go of there's structured chaos that we have in place to welcome in something that might feel a lot less predictable. And that is why we hold off from really pursuing what it is that we say that we want. And they're saying it's not like the opportunities are not there, because they are. You're creating them all of the time. You are creating pathways and avenues to the thing that you're trying to call in. And you are actually manifesting them at such a rapid pace that you don't even take the time to really take in how quickly it is that you're calling in what's needed. But because you're not ready to leap into an unknown situation that's going to require upending the reality that you've worked hard to build, you choose not to see it that way, and you choose to continue to believe that you are asking for something and not having it being delivered. And they're saying it just doesn't work that way. You actually manifest things almost instantaneously, just not in the way that you think you are. You're not going to manifest $1 million just appearing in your bank account. You're going to manifest a pathway to eventually acquiring a larger sum of income. But in order to perceive that that pathway is even there, you have to be willing to be open to choosing something that you've never chosen before. And we almost have these blind spots where we block out opportunities that we aren't familiar with. And so, what they really want you to begin to see today is really observing all of the ways that you are not yet ready to do things differently, and asking yourself, if I were to, what would that look like? What opportunities am I leaving on the table because I haven't been ready to act on them yet? And allowing them to materialize in front of you, and watching all of the ways that you aren't yet ready to call in what it is that you say that you want, and recognizing that that's not necessarily a problem. It's just a reality that you have to be willing to face before you can pursue what it is that's calling to you. I'm going to stop there. Okay. Hi, guys. Arnie, I have pretty much turned off what is outside TV media world. I live in the moment and follow and do what comes intuitively. I make my reality from each moment. That's beautiful. I love that. Stacy, I've actually started being a lot more careful what I ask for because of what you are saying. I've drawn in a lot of chaos in the past by manifesting from a place of lack. Yeah, okay. I'm just taking in what you guys are saying. That's what I'm working on too, Arnie. Yeah. Um, what do you guys want to say to that? They're just like they're like clapping. They're like, we love the self-awareness. We love the ability to take a step back and really observe the the chaos that you have like innocently fostered and beginning to identify, okay, this is what I've created and where have I gone astray from what I'd like to experience instead, and beginning to take the steps to kind of pull back a little bit and make adjustments here and there so that you feel more aligned with the life that you're desiring to experience. And that is ultimately, they said, the most impactful way of doing this is like making small tweaks. It's almost like they're showing me this image of an artist painting something. They put a bunch of things on the canvas and then they take a step back and they look at the bigger picture. Or maybe they walk away and come back and they're like, okay, what do I have here? What have I done so far? Where do I want to go from here? And then they make little adjustments and then they take a step back and then they look at it. And then they come in again and add a little bit more. And doing that over and over and over again, ultimately it comes down to self-reflection, really taking a good hard look at our lives and about how we feel and about what we want or what we want to change, and make very small adjustments here and there over time until it feels like you're experiencing the reality that you're feeling is needed in that moment, and taking it moment to moment and building the canvas of your life as you go. Because if you're trying to get to a destination in the future, but disregarding the present moment and just thinking ahead rather than in the now, then you're going to be bypassing the experience of the now and ultimately living for a reality that you can never experience, because you can only ever experience what's here. And so if you focus on what's here and make nuanced adjustments in this space and time, then you are manifesting the reality that you want in the moment that you're experiencing it, and ultimately then creating your life as you live it. Blair, welcome back. Hi, over a year ago, I went through the most difficult break. I think that might be breakup. I've grown a lot from it. Recently, I've started longing for him again. I've been intentionally single. What does spirit want me to know? Okay, first of all, thank you so much, Blair, for being so vulnerable. I always am so appreciative of you guys for just like taking your heart and being like, here it is. It means a lot to me that you trust me with that. I don't take it lightly. Um, Blair, I think I'm going to challenge you a little bit today, okay? What do you guys want her to know? What is it that you're actually longing for, Blair? They want to ask you that to start. I really want you to sit with this for a second, okay? This longing for him again. What are you longing for? And getting really specific with what that is when you sit with that. And you don't have to answer right away. I'm going to let you ruminate on that for a second. But they really want you to begin to observe where it is that you're being called to call into question where you're perceiving the answers to lie and look somewhere else instead. I know that sounds a little bit vague, but we're going to work through this, okay? This is going to be an experience of tapping the water, observing the ripples coming out from the water and asking yourself, is this the ripple effect I'm looking for? Or is the disruption of my environment something that I'm actually wanting at this time? That's what they're saying. Take as long as you need with that, okay? I feel like they're trying to say something. They're just bringing forward the idea that it's it's beginning to identify how we're feeling is the first step in understanding like where we are in space, because how you're feeling is an indication of like what we believe it is that's missing. Because if what we're feeling is not what we want to feel, okay, then we have a goal and the gap. And it becomes a question of, well, this is what I'm feeling, and this is what I desire to feel. And so, how do I get from A to B? That is what I'm asking you to help me with. And they're saying, no, that is what you're perceiving to be what's needed. But what's actually needed is to understand why this feeling that we're experiencing is there rather than the feeling that we want to be. And so, it's not about getting to that different feeling, is about understanding why we're not feeling it now or yet. And so that is sort of where they're trying to guide you is, why is this longing there? And is this person going to be the answer to the longing that you feel? Or is there a different pathway that you may not be ready to look at more closely that they want you to begin to bear witness to? Sometimes we believe that a very specific outcome is going to be the answer to the missing link that we're perceiving is there, but the outcome is not going to give you that that missing piece. The outcome is going to allow you to feel it, maybe if you're open to it, but the outcome is an illusion that we perceive to be the answer to our problems. The answer to our problems is understanding where the ability to shift the experience truly lies. I hope I'm making sense here. Is there a way to get more granular with this? Oh, Stacy, I'm studying shamanism and had stopped going to people and asking them to look into my future because of the ripple in the water effect you were speaking about. Have they got anything to say about that? They're saying that you're beginning to understand the need for the ripple to take place and sometimes question whether or not it's needed. Okay. We have been brought up to believe that the outside world holds all of the answers that we're looking for. And that makes perfect sense because we're living in a physical reality. So we have to go out and experience it and go out into it and identify the things that we believe are going to fulfill what we think is missing. So if we're not smart enough, then we go and we study really hard and we get a good education so that we can feel smarter. We work really, really, really hard to learn all of the material that we can learn so that we feel smarter. If we don't feel successful enough, then we go out and we work really, really, really hard to get a really, really good job and make a lot of money and move up the corporate ladder so that we can feel more successful. If we don't feel pretty enough, then we go out and we lose a lot of weight and we exercise and we change our face and we change our hair and we change our clothes and we do all the things that we need to do to feel prettier. So ultimately, what we're using the outside world for is to identify what we feel is lacking within us and going out there and getting it. And so we have been taught and modeled that there's all of this lack existing in the present. And the way to bridge that gap is to go out and access it out there somewhere in a future potential. And when we do that, the lack that we feel now will disappear and we'll feel completely differently. But what we've begun to understand is that we do that. We've done all the things that we were told to do, and yet those feelings never really go away completely. Maybe they shift and change, but they're still lingering there. I still don't feel pretty enough. I still don't feel successful enough. I still don't feel smart enough, whatever it is. And then you go looking for the reason. Why? Why do I still feel this way? Maybe it's over there. I'm going to try there next. Well, that didn't work. I'm going to go over here and try here next. And it's just moving from one thing to the next over the course of our life, trying to find that missing thing the reason why we're still feeling this longing or this emptiness or this listlessness or this purposelessness, whatever it is. And so what they want to reflect back to us today is when we're tapping the water and we're creating that ripple, it is that constant need to experience the lack that we're feeling and the momentum required to go out and change everything to rectify that. And very slowly, we begin to witness this pattern of tapping the water here and there and everywhere, creating all of this chaos and this momentum and this like shifting and changing of our environment to try to figure out where we need to tap to make the right shift and change or chaos in order to manifest the thing that we've been looking for. And eventually you begin to find that you don't need to tap as many times or at all, because the stillness that's here is enough. Or maybe we begin to realize that there's peace here that we don't need to throw into chaos in order to feel it. And so we withhold that need to tap and we just sit and we experience what's here, and we find that what's here is what's needed. And we can feel the enoughness. We can feel pretty enough, smart enough, successful enough. We don't need to continue to tap to find it. It's already here. And the illusion was believing that it wasn't. I'm going to take a breath. Stacy, does that answer your question? So just to come back to your question, I'm studying shamanism and had stopped going to people and asking them to look into my future because of the ripple in the water effect you were speaking about. They got anything about that. So what they want to say about that is you're beginning to notice that looking into your future or asking someone to perceive a future outcome no longer satisfies your need to create that ripple effect. Like you no longer need to know what's coming and have that certainty so that you can know that the ripples that you're creating are going to lead to the outcome that you've been looking for. You're just a lot more content with experiencing life as it comes and no longer needing to create all of this chaos through these ripples in the water and just letting the river bring it to you, like letting life flow. And when you're feeling that it's needed, you go out and get it, but a lot of the times maybe it's just not as much as it was before. Arnie, can you answer this? There is a Lisa that I knew a few years ago that I have had visions of, seen future together. Is this reality or an alternate I'm seeing? The visions feel real. Okay, let me sit with that for a second. There's a Lisa that I knew that I had visions of. I feel like for you, they're calling you into how these experiences feel. Um, sorry, how can you expand on that? There's a desire here that you're feeling from these visions. And ultimately, that is what they want you to pay attention to, is the desire that's evoked here when you are having these experiences or thinking about what they could mean for you, and paying very attention to the desire, because that's ultimately what is being reflecting to you what's wanted, and to allow that desire to set the course for what's needed and what's next. And not necessarily they're just saying like um calling into question the need to like fulfill this vision in its entirety, but fulfill the desire from within that it's evoking. I hope I'm being clear with that. Ultimately, what they're asking for you to do is begin to witness how you're feeling and allow that to guide you. And it doesn't really matter what is created as a byproduct, because what is going to be created will be a fulfillment of what's desired. And that's what matters. So just observing the desire that's here and beginning to allow that desire to lead you forward. I'm going to leave it with that for now. I'm open to all follow-up questions that you have about that. Okay, Arnie? Blair, I don't know. That's a good question. I've worked through loneliness and my understanding of that root. They're just saying there's more here. There's like a thread that you need to continue pulling on here with this. Um, and some deeper work is needed in terms of why you feel that that particular individual is going to satisfy this loneliness, and where they may have failed to in the past, and what it is that you might be able to call into your life that won't exacerbate that feeling, but allow you to experience it in a different way. That's a little cryptic. They're just saying it's time to really begin to sit with these different parts of you. Um, some work with this part that's feeling alone, um, and really providing her an environment to begin to understand how to experience her differently and to no longer go searching for her in another, because another is not going to be able to provide for you the 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 sense of connection that it is that's needed at this time. I feel like what you're really wanting is a much deeper level of connection, and the loneliness that you're feeling now, or the longing that you're feeling now, is is not going to be satisfied by that person in a way that it may have in the past, but you have grown a lot since then and evolved substantially since then. And you might find that that individual is not going to satisfy those feelings in a way that they may have previously. And it might be a bit of a letdown or a wake up call that you have outgrown them. And and to begin to see a pattern here where this longing for connection is leading you to people who can't fulfill it. And when you can begin to truly see that taking place, you may begin to feel less inclined to go searching in those same places and end up in the same spaces. Let me know how that resonates, okay? I wanna have a bit of a back and forth with you, Blair, okay? Because this is a deep question. It's difficult for me to hold you through this in a chat format. If you're ever wanting support with this, you're welcome to reach out to me and to do a private session one-on-one, because this is something that it's difficult for me to support you in a space like this. Or if you have a support system already, a therapist, a coach, someone that you work with that can really hold space for you to explore this deeper, they're just encouraging you to move in that direction, because you're going to have a lot of, um, I think, like a lot of perspective shifts that are going to lead to a desire for different action as a result. Stacy, amazing answer. I'm feeling so peaceful and fulfilled in the stillness now. It was very uncomfortable at first. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting how it can be so uncomfortable to sit in like a quiet, peaceful, still place, or to seek out experiences like that, and how our nervous system is so used to constant feedback that when we have like a moment of quiet, it's almost too much and we have to find something to disrupt it. They're coming back to that finger kind of pressing on the water. We're looking for disruptions. When we say, oh, interesting. What are we looking for? They're saying that we're looking for peace and we're looking for ways to create disruptions. But when we're asking for something new and disruption is needed, we back off and we're like, we don't like it. And we have to be very intentional with what it is that we say that we want. And so withholding from tapping on the water and asking yourself, like, what am I tapping for? And just starting to get really clear with the feelings that we're feeling, why we're feeling them, and what's really desired beneath that all. and then learning how to navigate that and get curious with that and exploring that in a deeper way. So true. I've I just trust myself to deal with things as they come now. Yes. Arnie, I know that was a strange one. Arnie, did my answer make sense to you? Let me know if it didn't. I feel like they're really, really challenging you guys today in a way that I really enjoy. In a way that I enjoy, but I think it's a reflection of, well, one, what I'm looking to do with my work, which I'm slowly navigating in a new way, and also they're wanting to call you into a deeper level of awareness with yourselves because you're ready. If you weren't ready, you wouldn't be here in this room with me. You wouldn't. And so, like, let's dig a little deeper here and, like, explore what's really here and call you into, like, again, a new perspective, a new awareness, and a new way of being as a result. They're saying that this work and, like, this work of self-reflection is truly the thing that we overlook for the action that we think is needed, but without the right self-reflection, then we're taking action that creates disruption that's not needed. And so why go around tapping all over the lake, creating all of this chaos when we can just tap once and have those ripples be the momentum that's needed without having to do all this work. And it can be that easy if we're intentional with where we're tapping, how we're tapping, and our desire to tap in the first place. Arnie, not really. I saw an event at a place I was never at with her, and I looked up the place and saw the exact room and setting as the vision. Great. But what is the answer that you're hoping that I give you? Let's start there. If you're really honest with yourself, what would be the best case scenario for me to tell you in this moment? And allow that to be your guiding light. When I ask this question, what am I hoping she says? Even if you weren't hoping I was going to say anything, I want you to ask anyway. Like, if I was to hope that she was going to say something, what would it be? Would it be, this is your person and you're going to meet her at exactly this place? And it's the idea of meeting this person that is really exciting to you? Or is it the idea that you have a vision and this vision is going to come to life and your capacity to have visions is exciting to you? Whatever it is, what is the thing that excites you that inside of an answer that you're hoping for? Is it being an incredibly powerful psychic? Is it being an incredible clairvoyant? Is it being able to visualize something far in advance and having it actually happen? Or is it meeting this person, this specific person? And whatever lights you up, whatever that excitement is, that's where they want you to focus your attention because it's showing you something. It's showing you a deep desire. Maybe it's a desire that you weren't even aware of, or maybe it was. But it's really important to be aware of what that desire is because it's going to paint whatever pathway forward. Maybe you saw, maybe you didn't see, but having the acknowledgement of it is going to guide you towards it. Not sure really. It is just strange as I have had other visions that happened. This is the only one that is pending. It is just strange and wondering what leads to it happening. They're just saying your desire for it, and that's what they're trying to show you. You're so focused on the vision, and they want you to focus on the desire because what's creating the vision? The desire for it. And if you understand what your deepest desire is, that's how you can create from that from that potential. Maybe this is a conversation of what visions are. Maybe we can talk about that. What is a vision? How do we get visions? Why do we get visions? Why do we get some visions and not others? They're just saying that They're trying to get you to look at this from a different perspective. Time will tell. Okay. They're saying allow your visions to be an indication of different potential outcomes, but it's not necessarily having the vision and it's not creating the outcome. It's the desire for both. You're desiring to have a vision, you're desiring to have an outcome. What if you can focus on the desire and not the desire itself? Like tuning in, what is the desire inside of me? And how can I begin to acknowledge that I want that thing and begin to move towards it? Sometimes the vision is going to be an acknowledgement of that desire, and sometimes the vision is just there to highlight what the desire is. And ultimately, it doesn't matter how you look at it. What matters is what you choose to do with it. And so you can choose to just sit and wait and see if that vision materializes. Or in the meantime, you can begin to explore your desire and allow that to just guide you. And maybe the vision will come to life in the meantime, and maybe it won't. But along the way, there's a desire here that you're going to be following, and it's going to allow you to manifest something different. Melissa, hi. Hi from Melissa in New Zealand. Have I got any messages from past loved ones, please? Melissa, did you see my messages about, I'm pretty sure your friend Travis, I think that was you. Um, I don't know if you were able to see them, but I've passed to you a few messages from Travis. What do you want to say to Melissa today? Melissa, have you ever tried to tune into your loved ones on your own? I just want to ask you that. Is that something that you've ever tried to do? And if you've tried that, what was that experience like? What was that experience like for you when you tried that? Was it difficult? Was it easy? Did you try it once and not again? Have you tried it several times? Okay. And how many times have you tried to tune into Travis's energy? Is this something that you do regularly? Or has it just been a few times or just one time? Let me know. They're really wanting to call you forward today, at least 3 times. So, what has stopped you from doing it more than that? Why just 3? Especially if you had a really profound experience of feeling him next to you. Why only 3 times? What is stopping you from doing it more than that or every day? Cool. You're not sure. They want you to begin to reflect on that. Because this is, I think, the 3rd time that you've popped into this chat to ask me for a message from them. And so they're wondering, Spirit is wondering, where you hold back from tuning into their energy on your own. And where you don't trust yourself to make that connection, where you feel that I have the ability to, and how it would feel to be able to do it without me. And anytime you want to be able to tune into Travis or any of your loved ones on the other side, that you can just go and do it and have this incredible experience for yourself. And what about that feels unattainable or maybe doubtful, even though it's something that you would really like to do? They want you to begin to question the need for somebody else to do what you have the capacity to do yourself. Let me know how that sits, okay? They're saying it's time. It's time for her. She can do it. She wants to do it. She has the ability to do it. So why doesn't she do it? And you don't have to answer that right now, but they want you to begin to reflect on that. Let me know your thoughts, okay? They're saying that a time will come where you will no longer feel the need. A time will come where what? She will begin to trust her own capacity to connect to whatever energy she desires to, but it's going to require time and patience and the willingness to try. And she will find that she's a very talented medium and her capacity to feel spirit is quite strong. But first, she has to begin to foster that relationship within her. And she can do that in any way she wants to, but allowing the belief that she can to be fostered is the first step. And so they want to end it there. They're going to withhold from providing you with messages that they know you have the capacity to receive on your own and empower you to begin to seek them out and receive them and allow Travis to demonstrate to you how powerful you truly are. There's an experience available for you there that is going to be so much greater than anything that I could provide for you here. Because being able to feel him next to you is so incredibly powerful. And what message could he possibly deliver through me that could outweigh that? To be able to feel him, like just knowing that he's right there and feeling him, what could I possibly channel for you that could be more impactful than that? And they want you to begin to see that too, to trust the feelings that are evoked from within you when he's near, and to begin to tune in rather than outside. Okay? Stacy, I've had a repeating dream of me trying to drive a car from the back seat. Oh my God, I have that all the time. I've never met anybody else that has that dream. It's like a nightmare. Before I got my driver's license, I used to dream that I was driving the car, and then now I'm dreaming that I'm driving it from the back seat. That is crazy. I know what I think that was showing me, but just out of curiosity, have they got anything to say about that? That is so crazy. Melissa, okay, I understand that. Thank you so much. It means anything to me. I get it. Okay, cool. And feel free to email me or message me with With how this unfolds for you, if you're feeling like a little bit of resistance around doing that, I think that there might be, because I think that there's a part of you that doubts, and that it's really disappointing to try and then feel like you're not getting anywhere. And so it's easier to go anywhere and to ask someone else than to feel let down and to feel disconnected from him. So I totally get it. So there's going to be a learning curve here in overcoming your doubt. And that is literally the only thing that's stopping you. And so they want to guide you into recognizing what's required to connect to him. You're going to have to be very relaxed, very open. You're going to have a very loving energy, because you want to be able to meet him at the same frequency that he's arriving to you with. And so getting into meditation, putting on some they said classical music. I don't know if that's something that you listen to relax. And I don't know if you have a cat, Melissa, but there's something about having like your animals with you. I don't know if this is like a pillow or a stuffed toy, or your pets with you. I feel like you might have a cat. Let me know if I'm crazy here, but there's a cat around you that likes to help ground your energy. And so surrounding yourself with that animal, or whatever it is that I'm picking up on, and and you have a cat, Harry. Okay, I'm not crazy. Stacy, I'm coming back to you. Okay, I wanted to finish with Melissa first. Um, Harry gets it. Harry knows all the things. Like, he is very in tune with everything, and he wants to help you. He's so cute. He wants to help you. He's like, give me a job to do. Like, I'm so good at this. Like, tell me what to do, and I'm there and I'm doing it. So just talk to him. He understands everything that you're saying to him, and he's like, and just let him know, like, Harry, I want to tune into Travis's energy. Can you help me? Can you help ground me? And allow him to be like a comforting energy beside you, and you can pet him as you're doing it, and allow him to open your heart into being this loving space, and allow Travis to come through in whatever way he does. It might just be just a very small inkling of a feeling to start. And over time, it's going to grow and it's going to build, and let that process unfold for you slowly. Allow it to be a learning process, and be open to whatever that looks like. Don't rush it, and watch how it unfolds. Travis is going to be there to teach you. Harry's going to be there to support you. And the three of you are going to work together to connect on a spiritual level. And it's going to be an incredibly beautiful experience. Okay. And if you need any other information about that, let me know. But they just want you to begin to take the first steps to being more consistent with your efforts with that, and watching what happens, because I think you're going to surprise yourself. There's going to be a little bit of like a hurdle to overcome at first, because you're going to be filled with a little bit of self-doubt. But this is a big thing for you. It's a journey for you, is overcoming that and allowing Harry and Travis to help you. Okay? You're not doing this alone, you're doing it with them as a team. Okay, cool. Stacy, not important at all. I'm excited for Melissa and Harry to explore this together. Sometimes I think I'm crazy. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like she has a cat. I don't know if that's true. Okay, Stacy. Oh my God, that's so crazy that we have the same dream. What do you want to say about that? I feel like this is pretty straightforward. Yeah, it's like not feeling like you're in control, not feeling like you know where you're going, not feeling like you feel comfortable um, in the driver's seat. And so you are choosing to sit in the back because it feels safer than leading. even though you're the one leading regardless, and just recognizing how this dream is manifesting in your everyday life and in your world, and having compassion for what it's reflecting back to you. And um, this dream is not an indication that you need to do anything, fix anything, change anything. It's just reflecting how you feel sometimes. That's it. And ultimately, that's what we're talking about today is becoming aware of how we feel so that we can be more intentional with how we want to be with those feelings and the reality that we want to create from those feelings, and appreciating how those feelings are being reflected back to us. And sometimes that is in our dreams, and sometimes that is in this in our visions, and sometimes it's simply showing up in this chat, and getting a lot more inside of a non-answer than inside of the answer that we were expecting or desiring. Okay, cool. Oh, wow. Okay. You guys were so fantastic today. If there's anything else that I can support you with, now's your time to throw it in the chat. Okay. Arnie, I hope that I served you today. I don't know if I don't know that I did. I feel like I did. It's just, uh, I feel like what I'm saying might take some time to fully like integrate or register for you. But I think at some point you're going to be like, oh, that's what she meant. Um, but if there's anything else that I can help you with, ask. And in the meantime, I'm just going to see how Spirit would like to close this up for today. They're saying um, they're just inviting you into an experience of noticing all of the things, all of the ways in your life that you're tapping on the surface of the water to create these ripples, all of the ways that you're looking for um, external validation, external support, external means of satisfying something that you don't feel comfortable or safe turning within to receive, and noticing how, when we withhold from the tapping and when we allow the lake to settle, allow our emotions to settle, we receive everything that we've ever wanted and more. But we have to be willing to get comfortable with the peace in order to do that. Because it's inside of the peaceful moments, when there's not as much chaos or disruption, that we can actually perceive what's here, which is peace, which is stillness, which is freedom, which is love and companionship. And the energy that we've been expelling into going out and finding it has been creating more chaos than the peace and the stillness and the connection that we've actually been searching for. But it requires bravery to believe that what I'm saying is true. It requires withholding from the going out and getting, and being and finding comfort inside of the stillness, even though it might create discomfort to start. And once we just can start to create that change in momentum from tap, 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 go out and get, search, seek, find, do, and withhold from that and sit through the discomfort, we begin to actually access all of the things we were searching for, but it requires patience. Okay. Thank you all so much for joining me today. This was lovely as always. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and your week. And I'll see you all next week in next week's episode of Messages from Spirit. You're welcome, Arnie. Thank you so much for joining me and on live. As always, I love seeing you pop in there. Sending you all so much love. You're welcome, Stacy. Sending you love, and I'll see you in my next dream when I'm in the backseat of my car, freaking out that I don't know where I'm going. I think that's so funny. Sending you all so much love. Okay. Bye.